The senior homeowner demographic niche is not only the wealthiest as far as homeownership wealth, but we're also talking about in expenditures. They spend the most in America, actually worldwide, but the 55 plus demographics is huge and it's just growing and it's exploding. And if you look statistically at our home, like our nation's home ownership and that stock, our homes are growing older, just as we are. So you've got a lot of homeowners that have owned their homes and they own them outright, but they've owned them for many, many years. And so I think it's important for people to understand how to find this demographics and to be able to, how do you market to this demographics? They aren't very typical when you market to this demographics. It's not your typical one touch or two touches, typical like in the real estate industry, what we're used to. It takes a long time. They are not people that are going to sell their house overnight. However, being in touch with this demographics and giving them information and offering services that are happening in the community and things like that are very helpful. So I have been marketing to this demographics for the last several years. My partner, who is Eve Hill, she actually just got licensed and it has been helping on the marketing side. And I landed 2 side-by-side deals in West Hollywood, California at $2 million a piece because I market to this demographics. I just put it on the market last week. And this demographics is huge. Now, this side-by-side lot that I put on the market has never been on the market ever. So it's great because there's a lot of houses out there that have only had one owner. Some of them have had 2, but you'd be surprised when Kelly shows us how to find this niche, how many people in your neighborhood owned their homes 30, 40, and 50 years, and to kind of narrow it even farther down. So we welcome you to Kelly Wheeler, the real estate ninja, marketing technique.
So what's happening, ninjas? I know a lot of you guys from the past, and it's good to see a lot of great faces. Debbie in the Villages, her smiling face, I know that face anywhere. Patricia in the Villages, a lot of you guys I remember from past broadcasts. But today I want to kind of go in a direction, guys, and we're going to call it relevant marketing, because I think what's going on with the market, the way that it is, you've got to, it's kind of like you got to read the tea leaves. You've got to pivot because things today are different than they were 10 months ago, right? 10 months ago, you took a listing on a Monday morning, and by Tuesday, it's at the title company executed. And you thought you priced it too high until you got $30,000 all cash, no contingency offers. And you're like, and here's the funny thing, kind of a side drift here. A lot of you agents thought, well, look how good I am. I got 50 grand more. You didn't get crap. That was the market, right? But anyway, I digress. The market's changed. So what we want to do is we want to find out how, especially in the 55 demographic, how we can compete. Now, let me give you just a quick story. And I'm going to back this up because I've got a family member that is an agent with a national team. They probably spend about $100,000 to $200,000 a month in marketing. How many of you guys think you could compete with that? Right? Can you compete with a power team dropping $100K a month in marketing? Same thing with Zillow. Do you think you can create a ad on Zillow? You know, for instance, houses for sale in the Villages. If you try to create a website or a landing page with that title, you're gonna get spanked, right? So we need to start focusing in on niches. We need to focus in on subsects within the market. And I'll give you, for instance, and I'm going to use the Villages a lot during this presentation because I live in Claremont. and I'm very close to the Villages, and that's probably the premier 55 plus, in my opinion, community in the nation, at least in the top 5. So when you're marketing to these people, you've got to focus in on the subsects within there. And I'll give you, for instance, instead of saying houses for sale in Claremont, houses for sale in Orlando, houses for sale in San Diego, right? You'll never win that. How about lakefront homes in the Villages for sale? 4-bedroom lakefront homes in Orlando for sale. Things that are specific where you can not have to over budget yourself, but compete on a smaller search term that yields results. If you try to go after these search returns in real estate that get like 15, 20,000 searches a month, you're not going to do it. So I want you to think about your marketing to the 55 plus community. And I want you to think about how you can get your message to them for the least amount of cost, and it's relevant. Now let's talk real quick. And I think I'm going to open up, if it's okay with you guys, the chat. What do you think are the top 3 things that the 55 plus community is looking for when they're buying a home? Like, what are 1, 2, or 3 things that come off the top of your head that are most important to that demographic? What do you guys think? Man, you guys are all okay. So the 2 that I saw that I thought of was single level and golf, right? So those are important. So if you try to market to the 55 plus community, hey, I've got a 4,500 square foot 3-level home that's nowhere near the golf course, but there's a lot of really cool things. There's a clubhouse. You're done. You're going to have a hard time selling that house, right? So those are all smaller things to do. And when we think of 55 plus, we don't think of them as move up buyers per se, right? I remember I took a listing in, how many of you that are in the Central Florida area familiar with a development called, I just lost it.
Solovita.
Okay. It's on 27 right here in Claremont and Groveland, and it's massive. Their clubhouse is like Disney World. Does anybody got a clue? Because I've totally lost the name of that subdivision. Starts with a T.
Legends, no.
No, it starts with a T. Trilogy. Thank you. Oh man. And you know what? I actually could live in a 55 plus community age-wise now, and it's showing. So Trilogy. So I took this listing, guys. And again, when you're thinking about these things, this is a good story on marketing for that demographic. I took this listing in a 55 plus community. It was 3,900 square feet, 2-story. The lady bought it and overbuilt the entire thing, right? And so when I was showing this home, and you know what? It was like $525,000 home at the time. I would get lots of showings and the feedback was all the same. Way too big. Way too big. Even though the upstairs wasn't really a bedroom, it was more like a massive storage area that was built in with a bathtub and a shower, and it could be a second den or whatever, but great for storage. Nobody wanted to buy it, right? Had that listing, probably the longest I've ever had a listing, about a year, and I just couldn't sell it. And that's not normal for me. So it really got me to thinking, when we're dealing with the 55 plus community, what can we do to increase our opportunities to get us some deals? And so I started thinking about that term, riches in the niches, finding out what we can do to go after the right type of client, keep our marketing costs down, and implement some automations and strategies that will get our message to them. Because at the end of the day, you've got to have something that they're going to look at, right? Now, I'm going to go back to the chat. How many of you, and be honest, how many of you guys cold call people? Yes or no? Oh, somebody said yes. Gwen, you're a stud, Gwen. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Eddie Hartley. Where's Eddie? Let me see Eddie. He's the man. Do I see him on here? Eddie. Oh, there. Eddie says, I do it. I love it. That's funny. I found this to be the case when, and we can argue about this one, but when it comes to the 55 plus, cold calling those people, that's not fun. Right, Heather? not fun calling these people, because these people have lived a long life and they are not at the point where they're ready to be nice on the phone to salespeople, right? They'll tell you what they think. So what we want to do is we want to approach this with, how do I find that client? And I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to share my screen and show it to you. How do we find the perfect client? And then what do we say to them, right? Because it all comes down to what your offers are. Now, remember, we're talking about the 55 community, but it could be finding buyers and finding potential people that are ready to list their home. And so you've got to have the ability to find them and reach out to them. Now, let me ask you this on the chat. If you were going to start marketing for people to list their homes in these communities, what do you think is the biggest reasons why they are listing their home in a 55 plus community? Why would somebody that's been living, say, in the villages, why are they going to put their home up for sale? Okay, exactly. Perfect. So a lot of you guys have worked in this community. When you see a 55 plus home go up for sale, it's not because they're going to be moving up. They're not moving up to a larger home with more amenities. Probably some significant changes in life. And I've sold enough 55 plus that it's usually what you guys said. It's their health. Finances have taken a turn. Maybe a spouse died and coupled the spouse dying with finances changing, that they need to sell now and maybe move to where their family can take care of them, right? So what do you say to that? First of all, how do you find that person, number one? And number two, what do you say to them, right? Because this community is not a community that you can just like reach out and say, hey, are you thinking about listing your home? Let me share with you what makes me different than no, that's not how we approach the 55 plus community. And I don't think I'm sharing anything new with you guys, but I think you guys understand what I'm talking about. It's different talking to them as opposed to, say, a FSBO, a 40-year-old FSBO or a 35-year-old couple that their home expired, right? Totally different conversation. So now let's veer over to how we're going to find these people. I want to show you guys some pretty cool tools right now on finding people. So can we all also agree that it's more than just finding an address, right? If all you're going to do, and y'all know me, I'm huge into direct mail. I'm huge into letters. Matter of fact, I'm in my office now, and yes, I carry stamps. So I do a lot of automated postcards. I also send out letters, personal letters, and I do a lot of emailing. And then I do what we call warm calling. After they've received a letter, a couple emails, and a couple postcards, I will reach out if I haven't heard from them and just say, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm not calling because I want to talk about your home. I just want to see if you've been getting some of my letters and postcards, right? That's a much better conversation than, hey, I sent you a letter and an email and I haven't heard from you. Why the freak don't you want to call me and have me listen? See, they don't want that, right? There's got to be a connection. There's got to be that ability for them to have value. Like I say this all the time. How many of you would go on a first date and instead of going to the restaurant, you're heading to the hotel and the person stops to get a carton of cigarettes before you get to the hotel? That's how a lot of agents treat conversations with 55 plus community, right? There needs to be that I feel safe with you, right? Now, those of you on here that have listed a lot of the 55 plus, hey, Don, how you doing, my friend? I see you. You're looking good. Those of you that have worked with 55 plus community, you know what I'm talking about. It can't be that rush into this conversation. Like, you really need me to do that, right? They have to feel comfortable. So now I'm going to share my screen and let me pull this up. There we go. I want to show you guys how to find either buyers or sellers right now. Then we're going to talk about maybe what to say to them. And if Heather, if you and customized aging, if anybody asks a question and you think it's relevant, would you mind stopping me? And I'll try to address it as I can.
We're not seeing your screen.
What?
Yes, he hasn't shared his screen yet.
Oh, I'm fixing to share it right now. What I want to do
for those that are on here, I just want to say that when he talks about this 55 plus community, we're talking about homeowners that are in that demographics. It doesn't necessarily have to be in one of these specific communities, because to be honest, across all of our communities, homeowners are reaching that point where they need to either modify a home or they're going to have to move out of that home. So it's very important to understand that there is this modify or move that goes on outside of a 55 plus community as well. A lot of our nation's housing stock, like I said at the beginning, is not ready for somebody who has a problem with their hip or their knee, or that has to modify a home just for them to live there safely. So
Right.
I say that because it's so important to understand both sides of this market for seniors and to help them in this decision process, because it's very overwhelming when they've lost a spouse or they've gone through something so traumatic. So when it's interesting to hear Kelly say it also, because it hits home as somebody who's modifying and helping seniors either move out of a home. So
Right.
thank you, Kelly, for.
So let's talk, guys, about how to find the perfect 55 plus to have the conversation about whether or not they're thinking of selling. And one of the tools that I use, and I'm going to share my screen right now, there's several that I use. And if you guys have followed me on YouTube or even on previous broadcasts, you'll probably be familiar with the term My Plus Leads. This is one of those tools that I've grown to really love. And those of you that follow me on YouTube, I've done a lot of training on a company called Remine, which is where you can mine data. If you've never heard of Remine, I highly recommend looking at your MLS when you log in and see if there's an icon that says Remine. If you guys have it, that's a gold mine. Now, I'm not going to talk about Remine today, but if you want, go to YouTube. A lot of great videos on Remine, R-E-M-I-N-E. But find out if you have it as part of your subscription. We have it in Stellar here in Florida. And if you were to buy this thing on your own, it's like $200 or $300 a month now. We get that as part of Stellar. So now let's move on. I'm going to share my screen now, and I want to show you a really cool tool. Now, this would be what I would be doing to try to find some possible listings, right? Maybe some clients I can talk to and find out if, you know, they are in that position to possibly think of putting their home on the market. Now, before I show you this, understand they use algorithms. So in any geographical location, I'm going to try to not be super techie with this stuff, but in any geographical location, they are going to have already scanned that area and look at the buying habits. So for instance, in this area here, this company has already done its research. And so everybody that sold their home in the last 12 months, there are particular sell habits, reasons why they did it, websites that they went and looked at, stores they purchased, whether or not they were looking at aftercare facilities. I mean, all of this stuff online is literally tracked. Have any of you guys ever gone to a like a Neiman Marcus or just any kind of store, and suddenly you go home and you fire up your computer and there's an ad for that store that you just looked at? Anybody ever do that? Does it freak you out? It should. They know your buying habits. And guys, let me tell you, that's why if you ever go and look at cars online and you didn't fill out that thing where 500 people try to call you now, hey, you were on. But that's why every time you go to Google or you go to your Yahoo page or whatever, and you start to see ads for that particular thing, they are tracking your buying. So now they know your interest and they're going to serve you what it is you were looking at. Well, that's what the software for My Plus Leads does. It looks at that geographical area and it says, okay, based on the sell habits, people that sold their home in the last 12 months, here is a list of what we would call similar opportunities. So here I am in the Villages, and let me just scooch out a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw kind of, and those of you that live there, don't shout me down. I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here and here, right? And so if you'll notice, there are 22,000 properties. I hope y'all can see this. 22,000 properties that this software says are there. I don't want a list of 22,000 properties, right? There's not 22,000 people selling their house this year. I only want those few that I can start talking to. So the next thing I can do is I can say, okay, and I'm not going to do value yet, but I can do 400,000, 500, whatever I want to do. right here, and it's going to eliminate everybody underneath that. I'll keep that alone for now because I'm trying to get this down to a manageable marketing list. Okay, now the next thing. Now I know in the villages or in a lot of your 55 plus communities. Now, again, we're talking about these communities, but like Heather said, there are a lot of 55-year-old and older that aren't in these communities, and I can use this software to find them. I don't have to go to the villages, but because I'm here, I'm using them as kind of a test, right? So I'm going to get rid of non-owner occupied. The reason I do that, guys, is I'm not wanting to have a list that I have to separate absentee homeowners. I'd rather just do a list of just those guys for email capabilities, for direct mail. I only want owner occupied, and I think I'm going to get rid of condominiums just because. You can keep it if you want, doesn't matter. And I know there's a lot of multifamily units in the villages. People own like, you see those houses where you got two houses together, that kind of stuff. I'm just going to keep it single family, owner occupied. And then down here, I'm not even going to put link to own. I'm not going to put any of this. Here's what I'm going to do. They have this little tool called the probability of selling. You remember earlier I told you in any geographical area, they've already scanned everywhere in the United States. They are hooked into major big data. What's going to happen when I take this slider and bring it all the way over to highest? That means that any homeowner in that shaded area that stays in that property count, those are the highest probability of possible listings in the next 12 months. Is everybody with me? Give me a thumbs up. All right, so now I've got 21,000. I'm going to slide this. This is where I'm going to make my adjustments now because I don't want to have thousands to market to. Now, while this is counting, okay, you guys see I went from 21,000 to 9,000. So now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say price anything 400,000 or above, okay? And then I'm 3,600. Now I'm going to go ahead and say length of ownership. Let's go with 5+ years. So I went from 21,000 to 1,400, but that's still too big. So I'm going to come over here and do one more adjustment. I'm now going to go up to 500K. I have no idea, guys, what this number is going to be. It could be 0. I don't know. Okay, 644. I'm going to stop right there. Does everybody see that we started at almost 22,000 people that live in that gray shaded area? I asked the software to only give me people that meet my criteria that have a very high probability of selling this year. Now, let me ask you this. If you could look into an area like this and only extract, let's say 500 or 600 people that you could market to, would you rather do that or would you rather market to all 22,000? Go ahead and go to the chat and let me know your thoughts on that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I think y'all understand. It comes down to maximizing your dollars. And remember at the beginning, I talked about being niche specific. These teams spending $100,000 to $200,000 a month, they're going to blanket that entire area. They're going to have 8 to 10 people on staff that are ISAs. These are inside sales agents calling, right? And if you can't compete with that, then what you want to do, it's kind of like you used to be able to buy orange juice and then they came up with orange juice concentrate, right? And then they came up, remember those frozen things of orange juice and frozen things of lemonade? They're like this big, right? But that little thing would make like this gallon of juice. Well, that's what this is. Consider this that gallon of juice. So I wanted to share this with you guys because this tool is a tool that you can use anywhere to pull that list. So if I want to go ahead and let's go back up here and I'll do one more. Let's go outside of Heather. Let's go ahead and get outside of an actual 55 plus and just pull them, pull people that are 55 plus that aren't traditionally 55 plus.
Do you want me to give you like a zip code?
No, I've got to keep this in Florida because I am in Florida. I don't think I can go out of a state. I wish I could do this nationally because I could run a massive team by generating leads like this.
No.
You know, people. Oh, and the thing I didn't show you, guys, if I were to hit generate list, it would give me that entire list. I could download that list. I could start postcarding them once a month. You with me? It's going to cost me $300 a month to postcard that list. I just saw the list that you just saw, $300 a month. If I want to send them a letter, 52 cents. 600, it's $340. I can send them all an introduction letter. And the other thing is with that type of list, that's something you're going to want to do every month. Get them something. And it's not always a, hey, my name's Heather Brooks. My name's Alan Worthy. My name's Kevin Harris. I'm a realtor. Are you thinking about selling your home, right? Sometimes they don't need to have that in their face every month. Sometimes you need to just reach out and say, hey, I just wanted to reach out and say, hi, I'm a local real estate agent. And there's a lot of stuff happening in your area. Be on the lookout for this festival coming. I'd love to see you. I'm going to be over here, blah, 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 wearing a pink hat, wearing whatever. And by the way, if you want to talk shop about real estate and what's going on in your neighborhood, just give me a call. Appreciate you guys. Look for my next postcard, right?
So Kelly,
go ahead.
Yeah, I do have Rhonda Douglas. There's a few questions. Rhonda Douglas says, is this what all the lead companies that call us are doing and trying to sell to us? I think so.
Explain that. I don't understand the question.
So Rhonda, why don't you chime in and ask your question?
Yeah, I want to hear her thoughts on this before I answer it.
Well, as realtors, we get phone calls probably at least once or twice a week from companies who are trying to get us to pay them and to give us sales leads, and they aren't going to charge us anything until we actually sell them. So my question is, are those companies basically going to something like this tool?
Yes.
And amassing them and then divvying them out to people, and that's how they're making their living?
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly how they're doing it.
Thank you.
They're doing it that way. They're also running like Facebook ads. And can we all agree? I'm a Facebook ad generator. I love it. The Facebook ads are not the best ads in the world. They're not the best leads in the world. Facebook leads, you've got to work them consistently. You've got to put them in a pipeline. So you have to be very, and I'm glad that now that I heard her, I'm glad she asked that question. Guys, you are going to be inundated. You probably already are. Go to the chat right now. Yes or no. Have you been approached in the last 4 weeks by people trying to sell you leads? Yes or no? Alan Daly. Yes. Freak. Yes. These little Rastafars, man. You know what? What's funny is I had one call me the other day and asked me if I wanted to, for only $1,400 setup and $1,400 a month, I had to guarantee 3 months. They were going to give me the names of local real estate agents if I wanted to recruit. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? I can go get that for free on the DBPR. And I already have postcards, $1,400 a month. But can I tell you, agents are buying that stuff, right? Here's what I'm going to say. Be careful what you purchase. If you've got to be consistent with your lead generation and your message to market. But if you don't see any results, or if everybody you talk to or you call or whatever tells you to go blank off, then maybe the lead source is not where you need to be. Because, you know, if you go to a fishing hole and you fish and you catch a fish, but every time you cook it, it smells rotten, are you going to expect a better fish the next day? No. You've got to look at your lead sources. And also, here's the thing. You've got to get proficient with how you're generating. You've also got to become a student of real estate. Guys, I spend about 15 to 20 hours a week educating myself on cutting edge marketing strategies. And then when I find one like this that works, I learn it like my life depends on it. Because not only am I trying to do this for my team, I also train agents on my YouTube channel all over the country. I don't want to look like a fool, right? So stuff like this, though, I look for stuff like this because what I want to do is I only want to try and pull the statistically best leads possible. So back to this area, I can use this to pull leads. It doesn't have to be in a place like the Villages, right? I can come over here. I can hit this area between where I live in Orlando. I can go over here and it's going to give me this ungodly amount. There's 400,000 people that live there, right?
Could you tell me how many people in that area have owned their homes for 30 plus years? Are you able to do something like that? And then somebody somebody did ask, does this give you the names and numbers or emails of the people? Does it provide the list? So that was another.
That was next. See, you've read my script, girl. Okay, so let me do this. I'm doing the big one to show you how much it pulls, but let me get real specific to my area to show you. So I live in this little town called Claremont. So if I want, I can come over here, go over here. Oh, that was different. Bear with me, guys. All right, so I can come over here, go 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 here, here, and here, just because I wanted to. right? 28,000. And then I can drop all the way down here and I can say no condominiums. I can come up here, here's length of ownership. So let's start with 20, okay? Now we're starting with 27,000. Let's go 20 years. 3,900, okay? Let's go 30 years. 2,800. Let's go 40 years. I have no idea, it might be 3. 2,800.
What about the probability of sales? Oh, you wait till later.
Oh, let's just try. It's probably going to be very low. 405. Y'all see that list? So if somebody owned their home for 40 years, they ain't 30 years of age. These are 60 to 70-year-olds. And from 22,000, I brought it to 405. Now, guys, check this out. I can then take that list. So let's go ahead, Heather, and answer your question. I'm going to generate that. Now, I did not put down price points and all of that. I'm just grabbing that list. I can generate it. Now, watch this. So now the problem with these people is some of these people predate the internet. So they probably don't have an email, or it's probably an AOL and they haven't checked it in about 16 years, right? So it's going to be a little skewed on the data, but I've got, and by the way, I love the fact that it tells me the first couple, it tells me canceled, withdrawn. This is a for rent by owner. This is somebody that's an absentee, Liz pendants. So these people are going through foreclosure and Liz pendants. Okay. So check this out. Let me go to this one right here. I'm going to click it. Remember, there were 400 of these, right? I'm going to come down here and it's already augmenting the data for me. What does that mean? So right now I've got the mailing list. So I can send them a letter and I can send them a postcard, right? I can put them on a 6-month, a 12-month, whatever I want to do, drip campaign. But this software has an augmentation built in and I get 1,000 of these every single month. So I can do 1,000 augments a month. Now, what the augment does is it will, and sometimes you'll see this happen. This is very rare. It just is thinking. Remember, I told you older people, this is probably going, this AI is probably going, what the heck's what's an AOL? What's an AOL? I don't know. Oh, guys, anybody know what AOL is, right? So, but what will happen is of the 405, I will probably have, I would say a good 250 email addresses, right? So there we go. That augmented. Look at there. AOL. Oh my God. See, guys? AOL right there, right? So we'll check the next one. I'm not going to do all of these because they're charging me for it. This one augmented, but no email address, but I got phone numbers, right? So what I'll do is I'll go through, and now I won't do all these one at a time. I could spend an hour doing it, but I can download the list, re-upload the list back into the system and augment them all at once. Remember, I'm getting about 1,000 of these a month. Now, why am I showing that to you? I'm showing that to you because I want you to understand that it's data that will help you guys get niche specific. Zillow power teams would take all 22,000 of those people and start marketing to them, right? You can't do that. I don't think you guys have $12,000 a month to spend on postcards. Does anybody in this group want to spend 12 grand a month? Right? It's crazy. So what you can do, instead of paying $1,200 a month, $12,000 a month, you go find the 400 in that area that meet your very niche specific. And Heather, I wasn't even thinking about 30 and 40 years. Thank you for that. I didn't think about that. See, I just learned.
Well, that seems to be, I use Mailbox Power.
Now this isn't Mailbox, this is My Plus.
Yes, I know, but I use Mailbox Power to narrow it down and to really hone in on that 40+ year demographics. But I market to them both on the aging in place aspect as well as the sales. So I do a modify move type thing where I can help them, stay in their house safely and live there. But if you can't, then I can help them move and, have other people helping with that. So it's nice to be able to offer both. But this demographics is huge, as you could see, how many are in that area. Now, if others were to go look in their specific areas and you're to go 10 miles in a radius of where you live and see how many homeowners have owned those homes 40+ years, you would be shocked. You'd be absolutely shocked.
But see, here's where you get the data, guys. See, a lot of you agents are getting hit because I asked the question, you're getting hit daily, weekly, monthly, people trying to sell you this data for, $500, $600. screw that. I'm going to go get the data myself. And then I'm going to have a plan of attack with which to communicate to them and let them know that the real estate ninja's here. What can I do to help, right? That's the other part of the equation, is honing your offer, making sure you're not coming across as that, like for instance, when you go, anybody here ever go car shopping just because you want to? Do you ever, as you're pulling in, thank you, Alan. Alan, I'm gonna say that you and me, I put money on it. You and I are about the same way when it comes to this. We get our wives, we get in the car, we're gonna look at an F-150 truck. We want to go look at this truck. We know we want it, but it's 80 grand or 70 grand and we can't do it yet, but God dang it, I want this truck, right? Let's go look. And your wife finally agrees to quit watching Hallmark and go to Ford and look at a truck. And you get out and you look at your wife as you're pulling the decision, man, I just want to go look at a truck. I don't want no salesman following me around, right? And then you get out of your truck and it's like, and you're trying to be polite. Well, we're just oh, well, that's no problem. I'll walk around with you and answer any. See, they know that you don't want them there. Well, I don't want you guys, as you develop this type of marketing, to be that type of salesman where they don't want you there, right? How about, I'm going to be an ancillary. I'm going to be a secret agent. I'm going to be there to help answer questions. I'm going to give value-added propositions and statements. We don't have to talk about doing business with me today, right? That kind of stuff, amazing. So now, Heather, can I go a completely different direction? So, you know, and if you don't like what I'm about to go into, then veer me back, because I know that we're talking 55 plus, but how many of you 55 plus don't want to market to just 55 plus? You still like to list homes with other niches? Raise your hand. Let me know if that's you. Okay. So now I'm going to show you something else. There are 3, and I'm going to give you, before we're done, guys, in 5 minutes, I'm going to give you a strategy that you will absolutely crush it. You have to promise me not to judge me when I tell you what to do, because it's going to go cross-grain to what the big gurus teach. But this stuff I'm about to throw on you, I only teach to my team. And for some of you, this is going to be a key for you in the next 6 months to generate massive amounts of sales and income. So hang with me, guys. Before I get there, I want you to write this down. Pre-foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure. You have got to market to pre-foreclosures, guys. The economy is dictating that if you are not doing it right now, you're going to miss this wave. There are more and more and more, and I'm going to prove it to you. So Heather, do you see this this list over here? You still, okay. I'm going to go ahead and select a date, and I'm going to go back to what is this? 8/1/2022. So just a couple months ago. And I'm going to end it today. I'm going to look for pre-foreclosures. Not contacted. Guys, I want to show you how in 3.5 months, how many pre-foreclosures we have. You see that number, 412? There's 15 to 20 listings, guys, right there. Now, the reason why this software is so powerful, let me go here. This software will do the very same thing as what I showed you for neighborhood data. So I can come over here and hit augment. Now, it doesn't work on all of them, but it will work on the majority of them. So in any given month, there you go. Guys, you see that email address? Do you see this phone number up here that doesn't have that little X on it, which means it's not on the do not call list? Do you see their name? And do you see their address? And let's see, do they still live there? So Agnes Sowell lives at County Ridge Drive. So she still lives there. So this lady is going through a pre-foreclosure. She's going to lose her home. So guys, I want you to see that this niche, these leads are there for you. Literally, if you work them every day, if you wake up and you see in your dashboard 3 new pre-foreclosures, they get an email immediately. If I can augment and get their email, they get a letter immediately, because I can send them a letter. And they'll get my email today. They'll get my letter in 2 days. And then they will get a postcard, the first of about 5 in 7 days. So in a week's time, email, letter, postcard. On day 10, I'm picking up the phone. Here's why. It's more of a warm call. I'll say something like, hey, Agnes, this is Kelly. I am the real estate ninja. And I just wanted to see if you received, I sent you an email, a letter, and a postcard. I just wanted to make sure you're getting them. And I wanted you to know that you have an advocate that's willing to fight with you. I don't like to see people pressured by banks and lending institutions. When you have some time, I'd love to share with you some options you might not be aware of that you have. Did you see how that conversation just went? That is much better than, Agnes, it looks like your home is going through a foreclosure. We probably should talk and get your home listed and for sale on the market so you can keep your equity. Are you ready for me to come over and see you? Right? That's a sucky conversation. But guys, this niche, this pre-foreclosure niche, they're not hard to work with. I have 400 here. If I wanted to concentrate on that 400, there are 10 to 20 deals right there, but you have to be consistent with that marketing. Now, I'm going to show you marketing.
I have
Go
a quick question. So Audra wants to know, what is the cost of something like this?
Hey, well, here's what I'm going to do. You're welcome to keep it. It starts at 70 and goes to 199. Now, 70 gets you FSBOs and expires, but guys, here's what I want to do. I didn't come on this meeting to do like push things on you. I'm going to give you guys a link. If you want to write this down, I'm only going to do it once. 30-day free. So you can get 300 to 500 leads in your first 30 days with everything free. Go to myplusninja.com. You're welcome to sign up for it. Start exploring it. Get in there and figure this thing out. And guys, how many of you have KV Core? Okay, I have Chime now. This system will go into your KV Core every day on your automatic. Like all these leads will dump into your KV Core. And if you're using, I think KV Core has an AI. You can have the AI talk to them. You can go ahead and put a pre-foreclosure or a foreclosure email drip campaign in there and let your KV Core talk to them. Right? These leads will go directly into your KV Core. If you do the free trial, do the $199 a month, because you can always on the day 29, you can bring it back down if you're going to keep it to whatever the other cheaper levels are. But if you do the $199, you get pre-foreclosure, you get for rent by owner, which is absentee, you get expired, canceled, withdrawn, you get 2 or 3 other niches. And so you can generate in that first month for free a huge amount of free leads. So take care of that. Now, Heather, how many of the people that are here, and if you don't have Mailbox Power, hook up with Heather and she'll hook you up. How many has Mailbox Power? Okay, just you, Heather? So Heather, I want you to email me. I've got 9 different niches. I just created cards. I'm going to give them to you. So let me show you what I do with these cards. And if you want Mailbox Power, Heather, did you realize they just dropped the price to $49 a month on Pro level?
I did not.
Go into your account tonight. Are you Pro or Executive?
We are Pro. We're already
go
pro
in and just change your price point. You're not losing anything. Are you paying $79 a month now?
No, we got grandfathered in.
Okay, well, anybody that you know that's paying the $79, they're giving them the $49 a month price down. They keep it that way till next July. So $49 a month. But guys, here's what I do. So I log into this system and I grab my leads for the day, whether they're the 55 plus community, whether they are pre-foreclosure, expireds, and canceled withdrawals. And then I come over here to Mailbox Power and I go over here to, and I'll show you this right here, Heather. You're going to love this.
Yeah.
I've got absentee homeowner cards right there. Done. These are my cards and I give them away for free. Here's my FSBO cards, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I give those away for free. And Heather, you can have all of these. If you'll remind me, I'll send you a video that has all the links and you can upload them to your system at will. But here is your foreclosure cards.
Are you not doing Mailbox Power anymore?
Yes. This is my Mailbox Power.
Yeah.
But here's my
for those who are asking, by the way, this is what Mailbox Power is. It's a great tool to be able to use to send out. We send out our newsletters and we send out other things through Mailbox Power. It's great. It's easy. It'll get sent bulk mail right through Mailbox Power. They do it all boom, boom, and boom, and done. And it's great. They have catalogs. You could make your own. And what's great is that we all have already designs that we've already done. So you could tweak it to your demographics and where you want to be. And all that information that you were just seeing on the other one, you could get that on Mailbox Power as well.
Yep.
So
and you can take your list from Mailbox Power and you can upload it to MyPlus and get their email addresses. So here's probate, guys. We were talking earlier about probate. Here's, and Heather, if you want these probates, just let me know. I'll give them to you. Here's the first card. And I automate these guys. So to answer your question, okay, so now you've got this data, Kelly, what are you going to do? We do an email. We do a letter. And then depending on what niche they are, I put them on a postcard drip. Can I tell you that a 5-week, 1 card a week campaign costs me less than $2 per client for the whole campaign? Did y'all hear that? I can put a client on a 5-week campaign. And the other one, Heather, we're talking about when you pull those sellers from a neighborhood you want to market to. You might want to go ahead and remind me again, Heather. I'll give you this. I created this turbo seller farm. Look at these cards, guys. I send these cards out 1 a month to those lists that I showed you that I pulled. So the cards look like this. So here's an example of one of the cards right there. Hey, Jim, thinking about, and all of this is customizable. You can edit any of this you want, Heather. When you get my cards, you're welcome to edit them, but I'll give them to you. But those are just some snapshots, guys, of what I do. Now, let me, I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute. I want your attention because I'm about done. And then I want to leave it open for questions. I want to share with you right now one of the most exciting programs that I have developed. And you don't have to have mailbox power to do it, but you do need to get their information. This is going to be expired. So if you guys will listen, give me 5 minutes with an open mind, because it's going to sound contrary to what you've been taught by the gurus. This is this is how you guys are going to list some expireds where other agents aren't, right? So Heather, can I use you as a role play partner? Unmute yourself.
Why don't we use somebody else in the audience?
You know what?
Love
Actually,
to have
let me
audience
Alan. Yeah,
participation.
Heather, go away for a minute. Alan, unmute yourself. So Alan, you're going to be, you're going to both be an expired homeowner and you're going to be an agent. Okay.
Okay.
So guys, here is the gist of the program. And by the way, expireds, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but expireds are hitting the market in droves right now. Do y'all know that? There's more expireds every day now than there were a year ago. Why is that? There's less buyers because interest rates, and there's more competition. So these, guys, I just saw a question. If you want my postcards, just email me at Kelly. I'll drop my email at the end. Just email me and I'll send you all my postcards for free. They're yours.
I was going to put it in our files tab so
Okay.
everybody could just
email me, and the next day or two, I'll respond to every email and I will give you my cards. Guys, they're awesome cards and they're editable. But anyway, so Alan, get ready because I'm gonna use you. But in this expired program, guys, check this out. You are going to present a program to him that no other real estate agent's doing. You know what agents are doing right now with expireds? Hello, Alan, this is so-and-so with Keller Williams or with Caldwell, and we noticed that your home came off the market. When are you open to interviewing aggressive agents to finally get that home sold? That's the Tom Ferry script, right? Or, hey, Alan, this is Hoopy Doopy with Caldwell Banker. I'm picking on Caldwell. I noticed that your home came off the market. Well, I'm working with buyers right now. Would you consider selling it? And if so, can I come preview your home? Number one, that agent doesn't have a freaking buyer in the world. They just want to come do an appointment with Alan to try to get that listing. Can we agree? So let's flip the script now, right? Now, Alan, before I deal with you as a homeowner, let me deal with you as an agent. Now, I want you to be honest with me, as honest as you can. Even though everybody's watching you, we all know that what I'm about to ask him, you shouldn't do it, but psychologically, all agents do it. And if you sit there and go, that's not me, Kelly, well, God bless you. You got a bigger house in heaven than me, right? So Alan, let's suppose you're a buyer's agent and your buyer wants to go to Granite Bay. That's the subdivision. There's 4 houses for sale. 3 of them are all listed with a buyer's agent commission of between 2 and 2.5. 2 of the 3 are also putting that stupid fee on there, that $150 or $295 fee that they want you to pay. You with me? You ever seen a listing that has a commission 2.5% less $195? That's happening a lot. Agents are putting their transaction fee on you and not even telling their sellers, right? That would really tick me off. But anyway, I digress. So Alan, you got 4 homes. 3 of them are 2 to 2.5%. 1 of them is at 5%. As a buyer's agent, which one are you really going to be over indulging? Come on, be real.
5%.
Thank you, Jesus. See, Alan was honest. Buyer's agents, now maybe not you, don't take offense at me, but buyer's agents are greedy. We don't. They see a 5% listing, they're going to be like, oh, have you seen that home? Oh, the hole in the carpet, man, you could fix that with a couple $100, you know, no big, right? Oh yeah, 3 people died there, but man, you can't get the square footage, right? I mean, you're gonna be going crazy trying to push that home. So I want you to think about that, Alan, that 5% in your mind, okay?
All right.
So I'm going to now talk to Alan as if he's the homeowner, right? So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Alan, this is Kelly with Hoopy Doopy Realty. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Listen, I don't want to take a lot of your time. I know you're probably having a lot of agents call you because your home came off the market. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, every day.
Well, listen, I'm not calling because I'm not asking to list your home. I do have one question for you. If at any time in the future you decide to put the home back on the market, would you give me 10 minutes to share with you a program that I created that will absolutely make your home, when you decide to put it back on the market, an absolute buyer's agent magnet? Every buyer agent within 10 miles of your home will know about your home and would be falling over themselves to schedule appointments. I would love to share it with you. I'm not going to ask you to list with me, but here's what I know. If you and I don't do business in the near future, you're going to demand your next agent do this. Do you have 5 or 10 minutes now, or can we jump on a Zoom later on to let me share this program with you so that you have options in the future?
Sure, I have time.
Okay. So guys, I told him I don't want to list your home. I'm not talking. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to ask him with this program to list it. He's going to ask me, right? So here's how it works. And this is the part, guys, where I'm asking you to give me some leeway, because what I'm about to share with you, you're going to be like, I'll never do that, right? So I'm going to say, well, Alan, here's the program. One of the things that I know is that there is a lot of inventory on the market. So you as a homeowner, the last agent had you competing with every other listing out there, but they didn't do anything to your house to make it really stand out. And because of interest rates and because of the lack of buyers, you're now competing with way more inventory. And your last agent didn't give any incentive to the other agents to come buy your home. So I want to correct that. So here's how the program works. Number one, it's a 6% listing. But let me tell you why it's a 6%, because every month you don't sell your home, you're having to make mortgage payments. So I want to stop that. I want you to get your home sold, and I want you to control what you get for the home. Like, we are in control over the price that you will accept. We don't have to accept any price. You get to control that. And I want to make sure you understand that. This is not about low selling your home. Matter of fact, we want to sell your home for as much or more than what it was listed for with the other agent. And here's how it's going to work, Alan. When you put your home back on the market, if you choose me to do that, we're going to go ahead and put it on the market. It's a 6% listing. As your listing agent, I'm going to do all of the work. I'm going to bear the responsibility for photographs, for answering questions, for negotiating, for dealing with all of the minutia that happens once you take a listing. I'm only going to charge you 1% on my end. We're going to give the buyer agent 5%. There is no home within 10 miles of your home that will even come close to that. So every buyer agent in your town is going to fall over themselves to come show your home. This is how we're going to get multiple offers and how we're going to control the negotiation to get them to bid one against another, because those buyer agents are going to be all over your home. Now, like I said earlier, Alan, you don't have to accept any price you want, but I'll go even one more. As a transactional agent, when I take a listing, I spend my own money to find buyers for my own listings. If I find a buyer, and I do this about 1 on every 5 homes, if I find a buyer that wants to make an offer on your home and they do not have an agent, and I go ahead and write the contract, if you accept that, that 5% now goes down to 3%. So you're all in for 4. But this is how we're going to get your home on the market and exposed. It literally will drive buyer agents crazy. Guys, that's the offer. Now, I know you're sitting there going, oh, but I'm only going to make 1%. Hold on. Your target is 12 of these. So let's just say $500,000. Let's say $400,000 average home. Okay, that's $40,000 in listing commission. Not that great, right? Do you guys understand that 6 of those 12 are buying a home? Alan, you understand. Now I'm talking to you as an agent. If you list 12 homes, there is a strong possibility that 6 of your listings, you're also the buyer agent. You with me?
That's right.
So if they turn around and sell and then they buy a bigger home, let's say they buy a $600,000 home. Now you're looking at $65,000 to $75,000 in buyer agent commission plus 40. So what we're doing, guys, is we're offering the seller the opportunity to actually get the home sold. We're making one change to his listing, and that's what we offer. And I always tell them, I only need to make one change to your house to get buyer's agents literally running over themselves to come make offers on your home. And that we're going to change what we give them. Now, if their last agent had them in at 5%, we're only talking 6%. And since I'm only taking 1%, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel like I'm having to oversell. This is what's going to get your home sold. So guys, this is a target test that we're running in multiple markets with our agents, and they're getting listings like crazy. So if you guys want to start targeting these expireds, I want you to really think about coming up with what we call an offer they can't refuse. And it all comes down to how you are able to share with them why this is going to get the job done where the last agent didn't. Heather, I'm going to bring you back into the fold here. Did that make sense?
Yes, it did.
I'm not asking you guys to be 1% listers, but for expireds, I want you to consider them as your bank account. You are not going on social media as a 1%er. You're not blasting the entire community. You're only going to expireds. Target marketing. Your goal is 12 listings in the next 6 months and 6 buyers out of that. $120,000 to $150,000 in GCI by simply offering them a way to get their home sold that no other agent will do. So Heather, what are your thoughts on that? And then we'll open up for questions.
You know, it's in this market, it's options. You got to try different options. That's what it comes down to, is trying stuff, because it is, you know, it's not what many of us that have been real estate agents for years have gone up and down.
Yeah.
And those that have been real estate agents in the last 5 years did not see what the market did through the years and wasn't part of it. So you have to move and groove with the market, which is another interesting way of looking at it from that. I've never even thought about it, but it is something to entertain.
Yeah, I think
And let me tell you, I'm going to beta test this in 55 plus communities, because the 55 plus crowd understands this Ben Franklin, right? And they understand, okay, my house is on market for 90 days, 100 days, it didn't sell. Yeah, but you were offering 2% or 2.5%, and you were competing with 15 other homes. And it's the buyer's agent that's driving the bus. So let's appeal to the buyer's agent's sense of okay, 5%. Yeah, we need to go look at this home. This house is a hot house. And I'm just going off of the law of psychology right now. I know that buyer's agents, not you guys, everybody on here is not that way, but for the most part, buyer's agents, if they're looking at 4 homes in a neighborhood and one of them's at 5%, they're going to do everything they can to get their buyer to that home. So guys, this is just a program. It's only one that you can implement as a side niche. And if you do and implement this program, and by the way, I've got cards for this as well, and I've got letters I'll give you free. You can have my expired cards that go with this program, and I have letters already done. I will give you, they're in Word format. You can edit my letters and start sending it right away. And then all I ask is, if you do this, please go through Heather, and Heather, let me know in the next 3 to 4 months, anybody that has success with this. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I've already emailed you, so you don't forget to send us. Yeah. And I will put it in the files tab under our workplace group and Facebook, just so you guys can have it. You guys can go right there. You can grab it. We'll have it all put in a files tab over the next few days.
And I've got one more. I've got a video here I can drop that has all my card links on it. If you
Interesting.
Guys
Gwen asked a question, and she said, how do you find homeowners that are out of the country? And that's expat living. And that's a really great topic, because we are going to have somebody come in to talk about expat living. But
so you know what? Let's try it real quick. By the way, guys, I just dropped a video. That video is a 2-minute walkthrough on the cards. If you don't have mailbox power, this thing, you're welcome to copy them for whatever you're using. But if you have mailbox power, those will import directly into. It's over 45 cards done for you, 9 niches. If you click that, you just click the cards and it goes right into your account like that, right? But let's just check real quick, because that's a good one, Heather. Who was it that asked that question?
Gwen. Gwen
so
asks,
let's
how do
check.
you find homeowners that are out of the country?
So let's just check and see if we can do it. Okay, let's go to neighborhood data. Remember I told you absentee homeowners, will leave those out. So let's go look for absentee homeowners and let's see if we get an address. I'll just use Claremont for the heck of it because I'm here. So we'll go here, 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 here. All right, so we've got 45,000. Let's say I only want to deal with 400K and up. Okay, now let's go all the way down here and get rid of owner occupied and just do non. 5,900, and let's just say highest 1,300, and let's go with length of ownership. We'll say 6 years, and then one more. Let's go with, that's good. Let's generate list. Let's just see. Now, what I could do on this list is augment the list, and if they have an address that's out of state, it should be in there. So let's go see. That's a good question. All right, so you see how the subject property is in Mineola? The owner lives in Winter Garden. So here's what I'll do. I'll get back to you, Heather, and if you could talk to the person that asked that question. I'm going to go back to the John Pope, who's the owner, the creator of the system, and I'm going to find out if he will allow us to have an augment for people that are not in country. And if that's the case, game over. Now you can get a hold of anybody outside of the U.S. that owns a home here. I'll ask him if he's willing to add that feature to it. Then I didn't even think about that. So I learned two things today. I'll get with him and find out if he's willing to do that.
Well, Kelly, I'm going to thank you because it's getting that time. Some of us have to go have dinner on the East Coast, and on the West Coast, they're wrapping up, getting home from work. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And in 2 weeks, we have another Talk Tuesday with Sylvia Dana. So that's going to be a lot of fun. She's great. I absolutely love her. So you're going to see a ton of information coming out on that. But Kelly, I appreciate everything that you do for us. And I love when you come and give us all these little nuggets of information. And I hope that everybody on this call was able to get something out of it as well. I appreciate it. And I'm getting all the thank yous. And Kelly, again, I appreciate everything that you do for us.
We
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate
It was
you
my
being
pleasure.
here and being generous with your information. That's fantastic. Thank you.
You got it.
It is. You know, and I like it because we're from all different brokerages, and not just brokerages. A very good friend of mine, Tara, who is the head of the National Aging in Place Council, actually is from your hometown. So she said I might know him. So I thought it was kind of interesting. So she joined us as well. We do have some other people on this call that aren't real estate agents, and it's nice that they are able to get something out of this as well. So it's helpful in marketing to this demographics.
Heather, what is the Facebook page that you were talking about?
We did aging in place network.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Aging
But
down.
in workplace, it's the EXP Seniors Network. So there we put everything on there, so you'll see. And this is recorded, so we will have the recording. So if you hopped on late or you missed anything or you need to go back over something, you'll have it there. I will also put in a files tab the marketing material that Kelly was talking about that he's already done for you guys, and we'll go ahead and add it there. I know that there was somebody on the group chat that talked about how they put together senior events, and that they go through one of these marketing things to send that type of stuff out. That is another great thing to do when you're putting out announcements. That we use Mailbox Power for all of it. It's wonderful, and it sends everything out for you. For those who don't want to purchase one of these types of programs, you can also go to your title rep. You can go to anybody that you work with in a deal. They will be able to also hone in on this exact same information and be able to send it to you. So you can also get it that way as well. So just to kind of give you, some other alternatives if you didn't want to spend the money on one of these types of programs. Kelly, thank you so much. I
All right,
appreciate
ninjas.
it.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon. Good night.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone.